There once lived a wise but troubled king in a wide and prosperous kingdom. His castle stood upon a high hill of white stone, with banners fluttering in the clean mountain wind. Though he ruled justly and was admired by his people, the king had one persistent worry that cast a shadow over his otherwise peaceful days: the mystery of his 12 daughters, the 12 princesses of the realm. They were each lovely, graceful, and kind in their own way. The eldest, Princess Adelaide, was steady and thoughtful, with a level gaze that could quiet the room. The youngest, Princess Lynette, was bright-eyed and full of wonder, quick to laughter and ever curious about the world. Between them were 10 more sisters, gentle, fierce, scholarly, mischievous, each a treasure to the king. Yet for all their virtues, they carried a secret they would not share, no matter how much the king questioned or pleaded. For every morning, without fail, their silken dancing shoes were found utterly ruined, heels worn thin, toes scuffed through, ribbons frayed. Each daughter had a dedicated lady-in-waiting, and each night the king himself locked their bedchamber with a heavy iron key. Still, by dawn, 12 pairs of shoes lay in tatters at the foot of each bed. At first, the king thought it a prank. Then he suspected magic. Then he began to fear something worse, some enchantment that might one day steal his daughters away. And so he proclaimed throughout the land, "A message from the king: whosoever can discover where my daughters go at night and how their shoes are worn thin shall have one of them for a bride and inherit my kingdom. But if after 3 nights he fails to uncover the truth, he shall forfeit his life." Many princes came bold and confident. Many swore they would solve the riddle easily, but every one of them failed. For each night the princesses offered the observer a cup of wine, and each night without exception the young man drank, fell into a deep enchanted sleep and woke to find 12 pairs of shoes ruined and his doom awaiting him. Soon fear spread among nearby kingdoms. No prince dared come, no nobleman volunteered. The castle grew heavy with silence, and the king's hope dwindled. Far away, a soldier named Henry had just been honorably discharged from service. He was known for bravery, wit, and a heart that sought fairness above all else. With a small coin purse, a sturdy walking stick, and little more than the clothes on his back, he set out to find new fortune. Though he had no noble blood, he carried himself with quiet confidence. Yet even he had heard whispers of the king's decree and the unsolved mystery of the ruined shoes. One crisp morning, he came upon a crooked old woman standing by the roadside. "Good day, young man."
"Good day, young man. Where is it you travel?"
"To the king's court. He seeks one who can uncover the whereabouts of his daughters. Perhaps I might succeed where princes—"
"Many better equipped than you have lost their lives, soldier. Better equipped perhaps, but not necessarily wiser." She reached into her cloak and withdrew a piece of white fabric that shimmered strangely in the morning sun. "This is a cloak of invisibility."
"This is a cloak of invisibility. Do not drink the wine they give you. It is enchanted to send you into a deep, dreamless sleep."
"Thank you so much, why, you may well have saved my life."
"Oh, I have done no such thing. What you do with these gifts will—"
"What you do with these gifts will decide that." She hobbled away, leaving him alone on the road, full of resolve. When the soldier arrived at the castle, dusty from travel, the guards laughed at the thought of a common man solving the mystery. But the king, desperate for hope, received him nonetheless. "You are no prince." "True, but I am determined, and determination is not bound to royal blood." "Very well, 3 nights you shall have. Fail and you know the cost." The princesses were summoned to greet him. Adelaide, the eldest, stepped forward with poise. "We welcome you to our home."
Welcome to the celebration, Henry. We are pleased you could join us.
"Thank you, princess."
"May your stay be peaceful and restful." The soldier only bowed in return. The soldier's chamber was arranged beside the princess's own. From his bed, he could hear whispers and soft laughter through the wall. As evening approached, the princesses visited him again. Bringing a cup of dark wine, he accepted the goblet, brought it to his lips, but cleverly allowed the wine to spill into a hidden pocket in his sleeve. Then he lay back, closed his eyes, and breathed deeply, imitating sleep. For a long time, the room was still. Then rustle movement stirred on the far side of the wall. "Is he asleep?" He drank the wine. Of course he did. "They always do." "Come, "Sisters, it is midnight." He rose silently and crept to the doorway, throwing the invisibility cloak over his shoulders just as he heard 3 gentle taps on the floor. With a soft rumble, the stones shifted. A hidden trapdoor opened, revealing a staircase that spiraled into the earth. He followed, invisible and silent. The staircase emptied into a vast cavern lit by glowing crystals overhead. Before them stretched a forest of trees, whose leaves shimmered like liquid moonlight, a forest of silver. The sisters gasped softly as they stepped inside. "It is as beautiful as ever." The soldier, wanting evidence, snapped off a small twig. Crack! The sound echoed. What was that? "Only the wind." "Let us hurry." But she looked over her shoulder once, as though sensing something miss. Beyond the silver forest lay another, more radiant still, a grove of gold, where the branches shone like molten sunlight. The air was warmer here, fragrant with an unfamiliar perfume. "Be careful." Henry broke off a golden branch, tucking it beneath the cloak. This grove seemed to hum faintly beneath his feet, as though magic itself pulsed in the roots. The final grove sparkled so brilliantly that the soldier had to shield his eyes. Diamond leaves hung from every branch, catching the light and scattering it into 1,000 glittering prisms. "It feels like touching starlight." Again, the soldier took a piece, small but unmistakable. The crackle of snapping crystal made several sisters jump. That was not the wind. "Something is strange tonight, but we cannot turn back now." Past the diamond forest lay a vast underground lake. Hundreds of lanterns floated upon its surface, casting rippling reflections across the water. At the shore waited 12 boats, each rowed by a handsome prince, dressed in garments of deep shimmering blue. "Good evening, fair princesses." "Good evening." Each sister stepped into a boat, and Henry slipped into it lights. The prince frowned. "Your boat feels heavier tonight, my lady." "You are tired, Rowan." Henry held his breath as they crossed the lake, lanterns drifting past, the water whispering beneath the oars. The palace on the far shore gleamed brighter than any castle above ground. Its towers were formed of silver, gold, and crystal. Its windows shone like the eyes of 1,000 stars. Inside, music echoed through a grand hall, played by unseen musicians. The princesses joined hands with their waiting partners and danced gracefully and tirelessly until their shoes began to fray. Dudley danced with seriousness, as though compelled by something deeper than joy. Henry watched all, collecting a golden goblet from the feast table for proof. Just before sunrise, the music ceased. The princes bowed their farewells. The princesses hurried back, their shoes tattered and their faces flushed. Once more the boats carried them across the lake. Once more they passed through the groves. Once more they climbed the secret stairs. Henry raced ahead to lie upon his bed just before the eldest princess peeked into his room. He sleeps as deeply as any of the others did. The second night played out much the same. Again, the princesses offered wine. Again, the soldier pretended to drink. Again, he followed them through the groves and across the lake. This time, he listened closely to their hushed conversations. "Do you ever tire of this enchantment?" "Hush, we must not speak of it." By the third night, the sisters were visibly uneasy. "Something follows us." "Nothing is there, sister. You fret too much." But Adelhaine's instincts, though correct, were thwarted by the invisibility cloak. Again, the princesses danced until their shoes were destroyed. Again, Henry gathered evidence, and at dawn, the sisters crept to their beds, unaware their secret had run its course. The next morning, the king summoned the soldier. "Your 3 nights are complete. Have you discovered the truth, or must I carry out the penalty?" "I have discovered everything, your highness, and I come bearing proof." A ripple of shock passed through the court. The 12 princesses, dressed beautifully but standing stiffly, froze at his words. "It is over then." He placed upon the table the silver branch, the golden branch, the diamond twig, and the golden goblet. Gasps filled the throne room. He then described in vivid detail the groves of precious trees, the lake of lanterns, the boats with their mysterious princes, and the magnificent underground palace alive with music. "Is this true?" "Yes."
I must confess, Your Majesty, it was my fault. I never meant for things to end.
I know this is difficult to hear, Father, but I cannot marry him. I never loved him.
Adelheid.
Father, we were bound by an enchantment laid long ago. Each night we were compelled to return to that underground kingdom and dance. We could tell no one, nor could we resist. Bound by whom? By a curse placed upon our mother's bloodline long before we were born. It commanded that 12 daughters must dance for 12 princes of the underworld until the enchantment was broken by one who followed without sleeping. My daughters, why did you not come to me? We could not speak of it. The enchantment forbade us. The moment the truth was revealed, the magic broke. Far beneath the castle, the underground princes and their glittering palace dissolved into mist, never to appear again. The king approached the soldier with gratitude. You have freed my daughters. You have kept your courage where many others fell. You shall have your reward. Choose whichever of my daughters you wish for your bride. Your Majesty, I choose Princess Adelheid. A soft sigh rose from the court. Some expected him to choose the youngest or the most playful, but the soldier had seen Adelheid's strength, her leadership, the burden she bore as the eldest. I would be honored. You broke the enchantment that chained us. I owe you not fear or obedience, but gratitude and respect. Then it shall be so. Their wedding took place soon after, celebrated with feasts that lasted for days. I promise to be your steadfast companion and I promise to be your constant love. The soldier, now a prince, proved a wise and just man. The 12 princesses, freed from the nightly enchantment, flourished. Lynette pursued music. Isolde became a skilled healer. Rowena studied diplomacy. Adelheid ruled at her husband's side with keen insight and quiet strength. When the old king grew too weary to sit upon the throne, Henry and Adelheid succeeded him. Together they ruled with fairness, courage, and compassion for all. And it is said that never again did the castle's halls echo with the sound of ruined slippers. The enchanted groves, the lantern-lit lake, the underground palace, these faded into legend, remembered only in whispered tales. But for those who believed, the story of the 12 dancing princesses lived on, passed from generation to generation as a reminder that courage, wisdom, and kindness can break even the oldest enchantments.